Hello, Top Fan Rivalry family. It is Bill and Jackson, which you know what that means. You know, you got one guy in Bill that's an America's team kind of guy, Dodgers, and you got Jackson, who's a huge Mets fan. It's going to be awesome to. Oh, Jackson's shaking his head no. If you're watching this on YouTube, he's shaking his head no. Um, you could tell on YouTube that he's wearing a Braves hat. But anyways, we got Jackson on. You know, that means that's the weekly review, Jackson, right? So we're going to talk all
Yeah,
kinds of like I don't know, Yankees, Mets, Phillies baseball, right? No, I'm just teasing. Jackson, how you doing?
doing all right. I'm doing all right. I was thinking we talk Rockies baseball.
We want to congratulate those guys for being the first to 95, right? You gotta congratulate the Rockies on being first to 95.
Yeah, well, didn't you hear the first team to be eliminated from the playoffs? So
Well, and it's early. I mean, it's early, right? I don't know if you saw, but earlier this week, the Angels surpassed the A's for the worst record in the American League West. Congratulations, Angels. Way to do a job, right?
hey, look, all I'm saying is that the A's ain't dead yet. They've won 20 or 30. They can still win the West.
Everybody that's listening to this, you have to understand Jackson picked the A's to win the West. Just getting that on the record. But before we kind of go beep
11
beep,
and a half back. They got this.
before we go beep beep, meaning the bus to Jackson, run over those type of things. Jackson, what you got for your number one? For those of you that are new to this show, Jackson and I every week do one, two, three. We do some honorable mentions. We talk a little bit about what's happened throughout the week. So, Jackson, what do you got for number one? I guess.
I'll rip the Band-Aid off. Congrats to Kyle Schwarber for hitting 4 home runs in the game. Um, Third time that's happened this season. First time that's ever happened in Major League history. The Braves get a dubious notion of becoming the first team to allow 4 home runs twice in one season. They are 1-1 in those games, though. Uh, Another fun fact is Kyle Schwarber is only the third player ever to come up to the plate with a chance at 5 home runs. He
I did
popped
not
out.
know that.
Yeah. Do you know who the other two are?
It's got to be Babe
There's
Ruth.
only been 21. Babe Ruth is a close guess. Think a
Um,
little bit further down Murderer's Row.
Lou Gehrig,
Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig, and I'm gonna pick one out of the box here, and I'm gonna say Sean Green because he had 4 home runs in a game in Milwaukee, but I don't know if he came up a fifth time or not.
So Sean Green did have 6 hits in that game, but I believe he hit his fourth home run in his last at bat.
Okay,
Um,
so you knew where I was going. That's a
eh,
good guess.
yeah, that is a good guess. Mike Cameron is the other
Yeah,
one.
that's who I would have went with.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know who Mike Cameron is, you didn't watch enough 2000s baseball, I guess. But yeah, Mike Cameron has a 4 home run game, but Schwarber missed an absolute meatball from Vidal Brujan, a position player, and popped up to the shortstop. And I was
Mhm.
slightly disappointed because the internet probably would have broke if he hit his fifth home run off a position player. We would have been
Schwaba.
hearing about that for weeks. But
Yeah,
so congrats, Kyle Schwarber.
yeah. Congrats, Kyle Schwarber. Um, you're gonna appreciate my number one because it's gonna be a debate with you and I. I'm going to
All
read
right.
to you that something that I put on X this week, and I'm going to have you see if you agree with me or disagree. Um, but I put this on X earlier this week.
Ooh.
I said, "Here's the question of the day: Is Paul Skeens the NL Cy Young winner with a losing record?" He at the time that I put this, I said he's currently 8-9 with an ERA of 2.07, 181 strikeouts, and only 37 walks. Best ERA in the NL, third best Ks. Thoughts? And we got several votes on it, and 80% of them said that Skeens is the NL Cy Young winner. Do you think that Skeens is the NL Cy Young winner?
Correct. If the Pirates front office knew how to put together a competent lineup, the Pirates would be the best team in the NL Central.
I'm not going
And
to argue with that.
that's all I'm
But
going to say. All of Paul Skeens' losses are winnable games. I think he's given up the most is 4 runs this year.
mhm,
You can win a ball game giving up 4 runs. It's just a travesty to see the Pirates get our hopes up every year, only to crush it with bad management on the back end, horrible prospect development, and just, those pitchers go out there and they lose every game 3-2, 2-1, one to
Well,
zero, and it's like, geez.
I'm looking at this guy. Last season, he pitched 133 innings, um, only 32 walks, 170 strikeouts. This year, he's pitched 167 innings so far. So he's 34 innings more than what he did last season. He's given up 38 walks and 187 strikeouts. I get it. Zach Wheeler has more strikeouts. Zach Wheeler's playing for Philadelphia. I get it. But I'm voting Paul Skeens. Tell me I'm wrong, Jackson. Please tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong, because I'll use that to segue into my number two if you don't mind.
Please do.
Zach Wheeler is out for the season. He had thoracic outlet surgery. That's a huge blow for the Phillies and their World Series chances. He wasn't the only big pitcher to go down this week. Nathan Eovaldi is out for the season with a rotator cuff issue.
Mhm.
And, that probably torpedoed Texas's playoff chances as well. But I think the Wheeler injury is a big impact in the NL because while the Phillies do have a good staff, Zach Wheeler is one of those premier pitchers where he's irreplaceable. I don't think you could definitively say you want any other pitcher on the mound starting game one of a playoff series other than Zach Wheeler with his recent playoff track record.
Right.
Um, so, you know, it's a tough one, but, get healthy, Zach. Blood clots in the shoulder, no joke.
No,
You gotta
no,
be,
not
gotta be
not a
there
joke.
gotta be there for your kids. And I respect the decision to, do what's best for his health. I also respect the decision of him to come out and try to pitch next year, even though he said he's probably retiring at the end of this contract. It'd be really easy to go, well, thoracic outlet syndrome, my career's over. I'm in, back half of my 30s, props to him.
So, so, and I agree. Zach might tip my hat to you, but let me ask you this though, Jackson. Even if, let's say that didn't happen, and he ends the season with 215 strikeouts, right? Gets another 20 strikeouts, and Paul Skeens ends it with 205. I'm still giving it to Paul Skeens. I mean, an ERA of just over two. I'm giving it to Paul Skeens. Convince me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're not wrong, and it feels bad for Zach Wheeler, who's come so close to winning the Cy Young so many times, and this is just yet another one of those years for him.
And by the way, to show that now Zach Wheeler is not the equivalent to this guy, I know this, but how many Cy Young awards did Nolan Ryan win?
Well, that's because Nolan Ryan walked everybody who ever played Major League Baseball ever.
Doesn't matter. How many did he win?
He won zero.
Thank you. I'll be here till Wednesday. Tip the waitress, everybody. I'll be
Hey,
here till
look,
Wednesday.
look,
Tip the waitress.
the Ryan Express was all about loading the passengers on the train before striking everybody out.
Yeah. Well, so my number two is I don't know if you heard on Thursday, and this shocked me on Thursday. Or no, I'm sorry, it was Friday that I heard this. The Boston Red Stockings made a roster move. Did you hear about it on Friday?
I did.
So the Boston Red Sox released said you ain't got to leave, but you got to get the heck out of here. We already packed up your locker for you. It's over here. Go away. To Walker Buehler. Now, I would love to get your thoughts on this because I have some pretty strong opinions on this, and I've been texting Boston fans ever since I heard, and they share the same feelings that I do. But go ahead, you first, please.
Uh, First thought is Walker Buehler. You are an Atlanta Brave. Uh, they need bodies. But second thought is that's probably the right move for the Red Sox.
Mhm.
He wasn't pitching well, and when you're in the middle of a playoff race, you can't afford to throw a guy out there every 5 days who doesn't give you a chance to win. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but Bueller's kind of. I don't want to say he has to learn how to pitch again, but with all the injury issues he's had, lost a lot of velocity. He doesn't sling it 98, 99 anymore.
He
You
doesn't.
got to pitch with more movement than that. And it's just the sad reality of baseball nowadays where hitters will punish every mistake you make. So you can't be throwing 94, 95 with little to no movement because it will get hit every single time.
1000%. And the here's what I don't like about this. Okay. So Garrett Crochet, Braden Bello, Lucas Giolito, who's had a bounce back season, Dustin May. There's your four. You don't have necessarily a fifth. You're right on top of Toronto for taking over the division. You're probably going to get a wild card spot unless a lot of bad things happen. Unless a lot of bad things happen, you're probably not missing the playoffs. The last I looked was early in the weekend. It was like Friday, I think I looked, and Boston was up by like 5 games of missing a playoff spot with like 29 to play. Here's the problem. You just cut a guy who has 2 rings and you are going to make a playoff push. Why would you do that? Unless Walker said to the organization, hey, listen, I'm not coming back here. I signed a 1 year deal. I'm not coming back here. I'm going to go, maybe to Atlanta or someplace else. And they said, okay, great. You're not going to come back here. Well, you got a 5 ERA. Pack your stuff, get out of here. But I can't imagine that's what happened.
Of analytics baseball, Bill. Uh, Front offices don't care about the glue guys anymore. It's all about what your relative value is. You see it with roster construction, with teams like Milwaukee. Even the Dodgers do this where it's not built on, I'm going to put this in quotation mark, vibes. It's built on what relative value do you provide? And Bueller wasn't providing value as a starter. His stuff isn't good enough to be a bullpen pitcher, so he's got to go. And that's the sad, unfortunate thing of modern baseball is, teams are going to shuffle through these players because it's what do you bring to the table rather than, being a professional player and, helping the other guys.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's that song. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
I just, I'm not a singer. I don't even play one on TV, Jackson. I tried, but hey, listen, I mean, that's kind of what I feel, though. I mean, whatever, whatever. What do you have number three? Where are you going number three?
Uh, I want to talk about the MVP races. I want to focus on the AL MVP race. And I need to put some things to bed. Is Aaron Judge a better player than Cal Raleigh? Absolutely. A better hitter. Is he going to win MVP? Probably not. Because what Cal Raleigh's doing is
Mhm.
having a historic catcher season. I mean, the man's got 50 home runs and 14 stolen bases as a catcher.
Mhm. Okay.
I keep hearing things about batting average, 323 against 240. I know it's 100 points higher. I know Aaron Judge gets intentionally walked a lot. But let me tell you something. Cal Raleigh is propelling Seattle to the playoffs,
Mhm.
where Aaron Judge is doing the same thing he's done the last 3 years, and the Yankees are the exact same. So it's like, is Aaron Judge a better player? Yes. Is he more valuable than a catcher that can hit 50 home runs? Probably not.
So it's funny that you bring this up because I actually posted this on our X account earlier this week too, and I put 3 names on there. Are you ready for the third? And I'll
Yeah.
debate anybody that tells me that this isn't. So MVP isn't MPP. It's not most popular player. It's most valuable player. You take Aaron Judge out of that Yankees lineup. Are the Yankees where they are now? Very possibly. You take Cal Riley out of that lineup, Seattle's nowhere near where they're at right now. Nowhere near. So on our X account, Jackson, you'll appreciate this. I said I put a poll up. I love these polls. It's just fun because I like to see what people think. This was midweek last week, maybe about a week ago now. It's maybe Wednesday. I said pick your AL MVP. Cal Riley, Aaron Judge, Riley Green, Go look Riley Green's numbers up real quick, Jackson, and tell me that.
All right, give me a
And,
second.
and believe it or not, with the votes that came in, Cal Riley got 67% of the vote. Riley Green got 33. Aaron Judge got nothing.
Yeah, Riley Green is having a good year, but
I
I
mean,
wouldn't call it MVP.
no, no. Well, listen, again, you take him out of the Detroit lineup. Detroit's not playing as well.
Yeah.
He's having a great season, but if you really wanted to have a top three in the MVP voting, there's your top three, right? And nobody pays attention to him because Cal Riley's hit 97 bombs in the last 2 days, and Aaron Judge does what he does. And nobody's paying attention to Cal Riley, but you're looking at his numbers, right? And am I wrong?
Uh, I have a sneakier third name for you. Uh,
What?
it's probably one that you wouldn't think of that might get more votes than Riley Green. George Springer for Toronto.
Boo.
Oh, I know you were gonna boo it, but he is hitting 303 with a 932 OPS.
Boo. Rip off his jersey. Let's see if he's got a buzzer. Check the trash cans. Are they banging on him? Come on. Boo. Come on, Jackson. Know your audience. You can't bring out George Springer like that. Come on.
I'm just saying. You
Ah,
want to talk about sneaky MVP candidates?
he could be a sneaky MVP candidate. Yeah, it's true. Um, and if the Big Dumpa hits 60 home runs, he's a shoe in for it. In my opinion, he's a shoe in anyways already for it. But everybody's talking about Aaron Judge, and now at the end of the day, is Cal Riley going to be a Hall of Famer? Maybe, but probably not. Probably not. Is Aaron Judge going to be a Hall of Famer? Probably.
Yes.
So, I mean, but everybody has a good season every now and again. You got to love it.
Yeah. I mean, here, let me put it this way. I just double checked this, but Cal Raleigh is 5 home runs away from breaking the most home runs by a switch hitter in a season, set by Mickey Mantle.
Yeah,
And
55.
he's playing, yeah, and he's playing catcher.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
Well,
But yeah,
Seattle's in a good
so
position too. Seattle's in a really good position.
they have a really nice pitching staff, and I think their offense is finally starting to come together. Eugenio Suarez is finally starting to hit
Mm-hmm.
like they need him to.
Josh Naylor,
Houston's got
J
Houston's
Rod.
got to watch out.
Yeah, no, no, no. Houston's got to watch out. And Houston's losing games that they need to win. They lost to Colorado. You can't do that. I mean, you're losing games that you must win. You must win. So nobody pays attention to that, though, right? I mean, come on.
Yep.
Okay, so my number three, my number three is okay. My number three is one that's going to kind of be a little maybe home cooking. Maybe it's going to feel a little home cooking, right? Are and I've heard players' reactions and say, "Hey, we don't really like the Dodgers that much." That are Padres players and things like that. But are the Dodgers in the Padres' head? I mean, recently they've taken 4 out of 6 from them. Are they in the Padres' head?
I think the Padres are in their own head. I think they're out there trying to win a 3-game series in one game. That's what it feels like every time the Padres play the Dodgers, is they're trying to win the series in one game. But you can't do. You need to take it game by game. I think the Padres are perfectly capable of matching up with the Dodgers, especially when you look at roster construction wise, it's pretty even. But I think their biggest weaknesses themselves. I think the Padres are always getting in their own way, you know, and they're shooting themselves in the foot. They had an excellent chance to capitalize and get ahead of the Dodgers, and they blew it over 2 series.
They
Plain and
did.
simple.
They did, and it's hard. It's hard for the it's hard for the Dodger. It's hard for the Padres. They made all these roster moves, right, at the trade deadline. And you've really gotta be careful. And they're not being careful. So I don't know.
I would argue they made probably the roster moves though, because Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano have been two of the best hitters since the trade deadline. I think it's more of they get in their own way too much because they think they need to, or another example I'll use is they want to take the division lead, tonight, but they're 2 games back.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you,
No,
you don't take it one game at a time. I guess that's the best way to explain it. It feels like the Padres are doing too much.
yeah. No,
Silly
I
as it sounds.
I agree with you. I I do feel like they're pressing a little bit. I do feel like they press hard. Um, it'll be interesting to see how the Padres, because the Mets are starting to play Mets baseball again. And for several weeks the Mets have struggled. But if the Mets keep creeping up and the Padres keep struggling and Cincinnati gets back on track, you could end up seeing Chicago, New York, and Cincinnati, and then the Padres are out. Then what happens down in San Diego?
That's true, but I don't. I think the Padres are going to edge out the Reds. I think the Reds have played poor baseball over the past month and kind of failed to capitalize on
They did.
the stagnation of the NL wild card.
They did. They I mean they played terrible baseball. The Reds played terrible baseball against the Dodgers. I mean, Ellie De La Cruz took a ball right through his legs. Like it was not an awesome scenario. It was not awesome at all. But you bounce back, right? And you do what you got to do. And I like this race coming down to it. In my honorable mentions, I'm going to mention another part of this race, but I just was curious what you thought. So,
Sorry.
okay. Honorable mentions. Where are you going to go? You got to have a few of these.
Uh, Honorable mention goes to Max Fried for being the cruelest pitcher of the week. The Nationals had a pitcher hit because their catcher got hurt and their backup catcher was playing DH. So when they subbed him in, you lose the DH. That's how it works. So Shinosuke Ogasawara, the Japanese pitcher for the Nationals, took an at bat, and Max Fried hit him with, sinker on the outside corner, cutter that buckled him on the inside corner, and then he dropped a curveball on him. The disrespect. 3 pitches, 1 strikeout. They didn't even let the pitcher swing the bat. So let's boo the Nationals coaching staff. If the pitcher's coming to the plate, he's swinging the bat. I'm sorry. I don't care that it's 11-0, especially when it's 11-0. What's he going to do? Ground into a double play? Oh,
That's when
no.
that's when you say, "Go yard, bro, go yard."
Yeah. Like if you're worried about him ground into a double play, have him square for a bunt. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, okay, I like that. Any other honorable mentions?
Uh, Another honorable mention I have is the Padres signed a Hungarian prospect, Marco Mora, who's the first Hungarian to sign with an MLB team.
Yeah, yeah, I
Apparently,
saw that.
his grandfather introduced the sport to Hungary. So we're getting baseball in Hungary, I guess. Hopefully
Well,
this.
people are hungry.
Hey, I'm all for it.
People are hungry,
Well,
right?
maybe they should go to Turkey to get some.
There you go. If you're hungry, you go to Turkey. Done, done. Jackson and I, we got jokes on here. We got jokes, everybody. Honorable mentions, Jackson. I think the Red Sox front office, not with this Walker Buehler thing, but I think they look like geniuses in one move, sending Rafi Devers. Because what has he done for the Giants? I know he's hot recently, but the Giants are going to freaking miss the playoffs. They may stay under 500, which, as a Dodger fan, hey, that's music to my ears. But I mean, these they not only traded Rafi Devers over to San Francisco, they said San Francisco will trade him to you, but you done got to pay him, and they're gonna eat that entire contract. So what does that mean to San Francisco? Is this a bad move? I don't know. Matt Chapman was running his mouth when he signed the extension. Oh, I'm gonna call my buddies. We're gonna bring some life to San Francisco. Boy, we're gonna win a pennant here soon. Well, not really, dude. Not really. So Robbie
Uh,
Devers.
my comments on that is does Rafi Devers pitch too? Because the
Yeah.
Giants' ERA has been over a run and a half higher since he's come over. So I wouldn't place the blame solely on him. I know people are like chemistry. Let me tell you, the pitchers don't interact with the common folk on the bench, the position players.
The
They
co-
only interact with each other. They don't
the,
they don't mingle with the common folk.
the
The only
common
time they
folk.
speak, yeah, the only time they speak to the position players is when the dude makes an error. They're like, "What the heck? You're supposed to catch the ball, bro. What are you doing?"
Yeah. Forget about the curveball, Ricky. Give him the heater. Okay, that's about as far as they go with
Yeah,
communications to each other,
interaction.
right?
Yeah. You see
So
it. The pitchers are always sitting together in their little huddles, talking about pitching, and the starting
yeah,
pitcher's always sitting by himself on the bench. Nobody's hanging out with the starting pitcher. Like, come on.
yeah. No, amen. Preach, brother, preach. So well, I'm very excited to see the remainder of the season. You've got a lot of people. You've got a lot of people that are injured for a lot of good teams. Max Muncy and Tommy Tanks, Tommy Edmonds are injured for the Dodgers. They're expected to be coming back here pretty quick. I mean, you got a lot of guys that are coming back, and now we're getting to October baseball. This is where it gets exciting, right, Jackson?
Yep.
Yep,
Uh,
yep.
yep. Look, the team that's the healthiest and plays the best will win the World Series. The team that scores more runs will win.
Yeah, the team that scores the most runs are going to win. Period. That's the way it rolls. Unless you're playing golf, right? So, well,
Well,
Jackson, I got an exciting announcement for you.
all right.
Okay. Coming up in the next week, Top Fan Rivalry will be launching NBA, WNBA, and NHL. So we will be launching three sports not only on the podcast, but we will be launching them all throughout the website. We'll have a lot of interaction. It's going to be a great freaking thing for Top Fan Rivalry. We're expanding, Jackson.
That's awesome. Hockey's a great thing to talk about. I'm just going to
Oh,
throw that out there.
you
I wish there were more places to talk about hockey because hockey's a great sport. Not as great as
hockey
baseball, but hockey is a great sport.
hockey is a great sport, and we're going to have to talk about it. I mean, come on. This is going to be exciting, right?
Yep.
So awesome. Okay, Jackson, is there anything else that we need to tell the listeners of our show before we wrap up?
Uh, I just want to throw it out there. I think I was playing against both players, or two out of the three players that hit 4 home runs this season in fantasy baseball that week, and I would like it to stop, please.
Don't worry, I've been getting manhandled all in the fantasy league too. So it's a don't even. But we'll bounce back. We'll bounce back. So Jackson, I sure appreciate you. If you're watching this on YouTube, please understand that, first of all, hit the subscribe button, follow us, subscribe. Check out Jackson on Instagram at Top Fan Stats Guy. Check out Top Fan Rivalry on X as well. There is going to be some great things happening here pretty quick um, with Top Fan, some expansion things that we're doing. And if you're listening to this on RSS feed, go over to YouTube. Go if you want to see our faces. They're made for radio. I promise you, Jackson and I's faces are made for radio. But go check us out. We're right here. See, look, I smile. Anyways, everybody have a great week. Um, Baseball's coming to an end, but we are going to be talking more other things out there. So, Jackson, until next week, right?
Yep. Until next week.
All right, good buddy. We'll talk to everybody soon. Enjoy your night. Bye bye now.
You too.